Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.
11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think Serrano won it. Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano.
Thanks to those joining me live and those joining me on archive, DStyleBoxing here. Let me make sure I'm on the actual mic. This one. There we go. I think we should be good. Let me know if you could hear me. Let me know if I'm on the mic and all that good stuff. Just switched it up right now. Okay, first of all, this is a thanks to anybody joining me, whether it's now or on archive. Hit that like button, all right? Share the video on your social media, Twitter, your Instagram Messenger, well, whatever it is, Facebook, and that's much appreciated. Hashtag 8CP at DStyleBoxing if you want to tag me, and I'll retweet it and all that good stuff. Share it with your friends, family, everything, Shout out to JC. Shout out to everybody. The title of the video is, should Amanda Serrano make $1 million or $1 million plus to fight Katie Taylor? My answer may be a little surprising. And it was like an epiphany that hit me in the middle of the round table. Something that hit me. And I said to myself, you know what? I don't see myself at all as a sexist or anything like that, but I guess we can all have internal biases sometimes, And I'll explain what I mean by that. Shout out to Guido. Ariane says, Duckins deserve no love. Keep it real, he says. Ebony might make more as Bridges, the blonde bomber. He'll make $1 million before Serrano and Taylor. Well, Taylor already made over $1 million. Taylor already beat you to the punch, And last I checked, that arena was still half empty. People were buying their popcorn and still walking in with Ebony Bridges was walking in. It was packed when Katie Taylor fought, last I checked. All right. So it kind of is what it is, What's up, Run PMC? How's it going? Make sure, guys, you could join the membership for just 99 cents. I know there's boxing tonight, so I'm not going to stay on too long. I want to make my points and go from there. You know what I mean? Look, let me say this. First of all, Katie Taylor's already made over $1 million. She's already, and look, the truth is Katie generates that. Katie's really popular over there in the UK and Ireland. And, they show a lot of support for their fighters over there. You know what I mean? And we got to start showing support like that over here. That way our fighters don't got to be going overseas or, so they can have more leverage in negotiation. But that's a topic for another day. I'm still of the belief that fighters should be getting paid what they generate, and they should be getting paid what the butts they put in seats and the pay-per-views they sell, the ratings they get. There should be a correlation with that and what you get paid. I just think that's the way it should be. That's my opinion. If you can't sell it on pay-per-view, if you can't justify it in the gate, if you can't justify it with the TV rights, whatever it is, then there shouldn't be a reason why you should be getting paid more, right? I'm still a believer for the most part that that's the way it should work. But that's not the way it works today in boxing. And I found myself having this standard for Amanda Serrano, right? No doubt she should be making more than what she's making now. That's without a doubt at this point. But I said, $1 million. I mean, look, $1 million is, I had all these reasons, I had all these reasons to justify this, justify that, whatever it is, right? All these explanations, and I had all this criteria that I was laying out to people, and like I laid out with everybody else, but then something hit me. I'm calling it the biggest fight in women's boxing, in my opinion. I don't know of a fight that's bigger than this one. It's a fight I really want to see. I believe it's a fight that will raise the profile of women's boxing in general. I believe it would be a great fight. I believe it's a fight that can give return customers to boxing, meaning people will love to watch it. They're going to want to watch more women's boxing afterwards, and boxing in general. I believe it's a fight that could be a good investment for the zone, which is really pushing women's boxing. I feel it's a fight that, again, like I mentioned, it's going to be a good fight, regardless of who wins. And we'll talk about who's going to win at a later date. Right now, I want to focus on this fight. Now, Arjan is wrong. I mean, you're saying Savannah versus Shield is bigger. I don't agree. But that aside, I'm not going to debate anybody tonight. You're going to listen to me, and I'm going to do my talk, and then I'll end the video. So, Amanda Serrano, right? Katie Taylor. Biggest fight, in my opinion, right? I'm not here to debate. I said it's my opinion. The biggest fight, in my opinion, in women's boxing, most agree. A fight I want to see. A fight I believe can be a good investment and create subscribers for the zone, return subscribers for the zone. They could possibly get a rematch, maybe a trilogy out of it. If it's a great fight, both women can move on and do other great fights with other women, whatever it is. But it can help catapult women's boxing to the next level. That's what it could do. Sometimes you need that match that goes off. Sometimes you need that little bit of something to ignite and start that fire. Kind of like Naseem Hamed did for a lot of the lower weight classes, which opened more eyes, to other fighters in those divisions. Right? So, like when HBO wasn't showcasing them that much, right? Now, Arjan has an agenda against, like you don't like Amanda Serrano. I get it, brother. Okay? But it is what it is. You think Michaela Mayer versus Katie Taylor would be a bigger fight. Okay. I don't agree. It is what it is. Okay? So let me say this. Let's look at this fight. All right? And what it means, what it could mean, what it could potentially mean for women's boxing moving forward, and as an investment, as the fight itself. Eddie Hearn's talking about putting it in Madison Square Garden. So it's going to do a gate. People will travel from Ireland, the UK. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the pandemic may be an issue. I don't know when the fight's going to be. We'll see. But it's a fight that could potentially sell out the big house, at least pack it. It's a fight that can potentially, sell. A fight that can, we'll see. But I think it's worth the investment. I do. But why should they invest? Amanda should just take whatever they give her. Like, while Amanda can take, let's say they give her 200,000, 300,000, and she agrees to it, it is what it is. But is $1 million worth it? I'm going to actually say yes. Let me explain why. Okay? Because, well, guys like Aryan can say she doesn't. Aryan's going to watch the fight. Okay? He's going to sit his ass down and watch it at the end of the day. All right? Put that aside. She does. They should give it to her. Especially if it means that makes the fight. Especially if it means, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of it's already things I already explained. But I want you guys to think about this. All right. Now I may piss off some people out there, and it is what it is, but it's got to be said. Devin Haney doesn't generate the money he gets paid. He doesn't. All right. I never seen Devin Haney sell out an arena or some shit. You know what I mean? I never seen Devin Haney, like the dude's like, he's never been trending on social media. He's never I never seen anything for Devin Haney that suggests that he should be getting paid $3 million. Now, I'm not hating on the guy. I'm glad he's getting his money. But if I can accept and I could be happy for Devin Haney getting his money, right? And if the zone is willing to give a guy like Linares $1 million to fight Devin Haney, there's nothing that suggests that Linares deserves $1 million, right? Like, I don't know what, whatever standard we're using. I'm glad Linares got his money. I am. Hey, get your money. But if I'm going to feel that way about these male fighters, why not Amanda Serrano? Why can't Amanda Serrano get $1 million? Look, I love Mikey Garcia. I think he's a great fighter. I've been following Mikey Garcia since he turned pro. Little brother Robert Garcia had his run, from the lower weight classes and from the time he fought. I remember when he knocked down Orlando Salido several times, and it was that controversy with the cut, and people questioned his heart, but then he kept moving on. Had a good run at lightweight. The Lomachenko fight never happened. I still feel he could have beat Lomachenko, but that's not here or there. You know what I mean? He went out to beat Robert Easter, went up in weight to fight Spence, lost, and then what happened? Wasn't he offered $7 million? $7 million to fight Vargas. Now, I don't know what calculations or what algorithm or what the zone used to justify the money they gave both those fighters for that fight that the public wasn't clamoring for. It wasn't going to move the needle for men's boxing in the welterweight division. That fight wasn't going to do anything. Yet they gave that money, right, to Mikey and to Vargas. Look, I'm happy for the guys. Get your money. I'm not hating on them. What I'm saying is, how can we look the other way when these guys get far more money than what Amanda Serrano was asking for? Like, we have to step back and we got to think about how a Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano fight can move the needle for women's boxing. And how that could be good for women's boxing and the investment in women's boxing for the zone and for all the networks and for boxing in general moving forward. A payday like that, believe me, you'll keep a lot of our women fighters away from getting choked out in some octagon and some other foreign fucking sport. All right? We start paying the women better. We keep them away from MMA to get choked out live on TV or kicked in the head, right? And we keep them in their domain where they belong, in the boxing ring. And you know what's going to start happening? A lot of those women fighters in MMA are going to start coming to boxing, just like happens in the male side. Oh, the money's over here. So we need to make an investment in Amanda Serrano. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, Crawford gets, what, $4 million, $5 million for his fights? And we have to ask ourselves, does Crawford really generate that? When he was on paper, he only did like 160,000. Is it really worth the money they're paying him? I'm glad Crawford's getting paid every penny he gets. But why do we, when it comes to Amanda Serrano, we don't see the investment and we say, no, you're going to make what you generate. But then how many male boxers just get paid money that really, we can't really justify, can we? Like, can Caleb Plant justify $10 million in any way, shape, or form? Like, is there a real explanation as to why he should get $10 million, other than the fact there's going to be a lot of money in the fight and Canelo's getting a certain amount, so he should get a certain amount? Well, if Katie Taylor's making $1.5 million, right, her opponent should definitely make more. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean $1 million, right? But in the case of this fight with Amanda Serrano, which is a super fight for the women, something we never really had, right? Remember, as far as man, I'm having a brain fart, but holy shit, Christy Martin, Jesus Christ, and Lucia Riker were supposed to fight, and they were going to get paid $1 million a piece. Now, that was going to be on pay-per-view. That would have been the biggest payday, but we didn't get that fight. Lucia Riker got an injury, allegedly. Kristen Martin thinks she faked it or whatever, but I'm not here to speculate or whatever. I don't think she did, but who knows, right? We didn't get it. Layla Ali versus Ann Wolf. We didn't get it. You think we don't get the fights in the male side? When there's a super fight in the women's side, we never get it. And who knows what those super fights could have done for women's boxing. We didn't get Christy Martin versus Lucia Riker. Politics for the longest time kept that fight from happening. When it finally had a chance to happen, it didn't happen. It was announced, had a press conference, the whole nine. Didn't happen. Layla Ali versus Ann Wolf. Oh, did Layla Ali avoid Ann Wolf? Now, I have a different side of the story. From my understanding, Layla Ali gave Ann Wolf some pretty good offers, but that's not here nor there, right? But the fight didn't happen. Maybe they should have given Ann Wolf the money Ann Wolf asked for, because that would have done great things for women's boxing. Maybe if Christine Martin and Lucia Riker were offered the money that they were finally offered to fight before, maybe it happens. Let's not wait until these two women get older and then finally, okay, we'll pay you. And it's too late, and then it doesn't happen anyway. And this is an opportunity to make this super fight happen. Too many times, the boxing gods have put it in front. They've given boxing the assist, put the ball right in front of the goal, and said, just walk it in and score. That's what they're doing. Shout out to the Dawn. ATP is war. 804 Castano Virgil on top. 147. Salute to all my Dawn. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Joe Lopez is saying women's MMA is more entertaining than women's boxing. It's because Joe Lopez, 40 ounce, likes to see them in the spandex. Okay? That's what it is. He's not going to say it, but that's what it is. But you know what? I got to be honest. I don't know. The Pursoon Katie Taylor fights were very exciting. I think a Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano fight would be a very exciting fight. I really do. I honestly feel that way. Right? Let's not let yet another women's super fight pass us by. We should have had Christy Martin and Lucia Riker. We should have had Layla Ali and Wolf. And one of the main reasons those fights didn't happen was when the fights were ready to get made, they didn't offer them the right money. I don't want to talk about, imagine 10 years from now, that fight didn't happen because Amanda Serrano wanted too much money and this and that. Give her the $1 million. Give her the $1 million. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's a needle mover, this fight. That's what it is. It's a needle mover, guys. Like, it's a needle mover. That's what it is. It's a fight that could take women's boxing and in turn boxing itself to the next level. That's what it could do. All right. So, Aryan, if she fights Katie Taylor, what else do you want? You're not sold that you don't think Amanda Serrano is a real deal? If she fights Katie Taylor, that'll settle everything. It'll settle your question about whether she's a real deal or not. It'll settle the question. I mean, Devin Haney hasn't really fought anybody. Like, he just fought his toughest opponent with an Oleanatis, and he was getting paid $2 million a pop. Andre Barrett was getting $1 million from HBO, fighting in freaking ballrooms in front of 200 people. Adrian Broner, I mean, like, was getting paid good money from HBO before anybody knew who he was. Later on, they knew who he was, but, you know, I mean, we need to really think about it, guys. Why not make, like, you know, my friend Amilcar, you know, Maestro, shout out to him, make the argument that, oh, well, Devin is getting paid that because Matchroom saw him as a future investment. Well, let's invest in women's boxing. That's my argument. And I know a lot of you feel because that was my argument at first, but I thought about it. And I say, you know what? This is what we need right here. This is a needle mover. This is the type of fight we need in women's boxing. You know what I mean? Like, I just want you guys to think about it. I mean, it's not like, how can you possibly, like, how can you accept $7 million and then I don't know, can somebody put in chat how much Vargas got paid? Was it $7 million for the both of them, or I think it was $7 million for Mikey and $5? I forgot what it was. Anybody can fact check it. It's been a while. I don't remember, but it's not like she's asking for $7 million, bro. Shout out to the Don. I appreciate the support, brother. Big HCP supporter. He says, salute to JC, the bodybuilder. Got Amanda in that one Katie looking suspect. Give them the money. That's why it's going to be on the Zone, because the Zone is for the fighter. The Zone has money. If Canelo's going to be fighting Plant, if Canelo's going to be fighting fucking Plant, okay, then they got money for the budget, right? I'm just saying. Jay, how's it going? Even if you give her $1 million and Katie $2 million or whatever was a loss, the investment would be worth it. I agree. Like, why can't boxing have a male and female megastar at the same time? I agree. Plus, I'm telling you, like, I don't even think it'll be that big of a loss because they will probably put it on pay-per-view on Sky. There's going to be the gate money from Madison Square Garden. Like, if it is a loss, it'll be very minimal. Like, I don't think it'll be that big of a loss. Plus, they already have a budget that they're going to spend anyway, right? They have so many subscribers per month. They have a certain budget. This is worth it. I'm telling you. I know the Don's a big Devin Haney guy, but he's got to agree. If they could pay Devin Haney $3 million, why can't they pay Amanda Serrano $1 million? I'm not against either. I'm just saying, why not? What does Devin Haney show you guys that, oh, totally, he generates $3 million to fight? I would like to hear it. I would like to hear what you guys got to say. If it's, oh, well, he's skilled. Well, man, Serrano's skilled too. So what does that even mean? So that this is a needle mover. It's an investment into women's boxing. That's what this is. That's what this is. There is no reason that Amanda Serrano, I don't care how anybody feels about her, should not be at least half as popular as that UFC champion chick. I forget her name, the Lioness, right? There's no reason she should be at least half as popular. There's no reason Amanda Serrano should only have 12,000 followers on Twitter. Like, this is something that we need to start raising the profile, and we need to start showing women fighters, right? For all the females getting into boxing, that there's a mountaintop And in that mountaintop, there's at least $1 million, right? Amanda Nunes, thank you. Like, you know what I mean? There's no reason we can't raise her profile. So I got to say, and I want to go on record saying that, yes, Amanda Serrano is worth $1 million. And Katie Taylor, I mean, she's going to be worth what she's worth as well. Pay them. Women's boxing needs that mega fight. Okay? That's what it needs. Like those two women on top of their game. We didn't get Christy Martin versus Lucia Riker. We didn't get Layla Ali versus Ann Wolf. And that is criminal. You know what I mean? The Don with that super chat. He says, he's like, man, these titles have been on for a while. He says, I don't worry about pennies. He said, shout out to the Don. Ladies and gentlemen, they got him. You know what I mean? They got him. They got her. Ladies and gentlemen, they got her. Give a man her money. I'm just saying that's what I say. As a subscriber to the Zone, I know I'm only one voice, right? But a lot of you out there, you subscribe to the Zone. You pay every month into the Zone, right? We have some say, right? So all I'm saying is it's worth it. It's worth it to pay her. It is. Give her money. You know what I mean? This is a needle mover. It's the biggest fight in women's boxing. It's one of the biggest fights in boxing, period. And as I thought about it, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Like, look at all these guys that get all this money, like way more than $1 million, and don't really show anything for it. You know what I mean? So that's what got me thinking, and this one is worth it. It's worth it, guys. I agree with this comment right here. With EBA 101 Boxing, for women boxing to keep growing, we need fights like that, and they need to get paid. All right? Momentum. It's about momentum. J. Desi 4 is onto something. Not to mention the division is loaded. Any momentum from this fight equals huge mega fights down the like with Makila Mayer and McCaskill. Not to mention the Olympics. And I got to tell you, man, we can't. It's almost like boxing fans don't bat an eyelash when some fighter, and I'm not, look, and that's my point. Like, I'm not here to hate on what fighters get paid. You'll never hear me say, oh, why are they paying that money to Devin Haney? Like, I ain't going to hate on Devin Haney. I'm glad he's getting his money. I'm glad anytime a fighter gets his money, I'm happy for them. And even if I have an issue in terms of, but the budget, and it's not their fault. Like they're doing what I would do. That's what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, that's what they're doing. So Joe Lopez says, should rounds be moved to 3 minutes to make women's boxing more entertaining? I believe it should be 3 minutes. And to be honest with you, the younger guard of women's fighters feel the same way. Right? The younger guard feels there should be longer fights. No doubt about it. You know what I mean? So, like, that is that. You know what I mean? So, there we go. So, look, guys, I know there's some boxing on right now. Yes, on Fox, Jesus, I know. So, I'm going to go watch that. I want to thank you guys for just taking the time to listen, right? One of the arguments women had was, well, if you want us to fight 3 minutes, pay us more. So look, in my opinion, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, if they fight, if they get paid the money they want, which I hope they do, because I want to see this fight. I do. Okay. If Mikey Garcia made $7 million, there's no reason Amanda Serrano can't make $1 million. I'm just, whatever it was he made, but the motherfucker made a lot of money. Right? And if I'm happy for him, there's no reason I can't be happy for Amanda if she gets her money too. It's got to keep it real, and I got to keep that consistent. And this is a fight that's worth it. So I'm just putting that out there. So, but if they do that fight 3 minutes, 12 rounds, that would be epic. That would be monumental. Then they could promote it that way. Like, you know what? This is the first ever 12 round women's fight because it's a super fight. And they're going to go 3 minutes. Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. I mean, the best woman win. And that would be a needle mover. It would be a push into the right direction. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think it would be a bigger fight than people think. Look, I think it'll be watched by a lot of people. Not to mention that now Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, they have the contract with the Zone, and so they're going to get a lot of subscriptions from the UK out of it as well. I don't know how it works in Puerto Rico, but they could get subscriptions from there. You know what I mean? You could, like there's a lot of things they could do. They could get Felix Trinidad to go on tour with them for the press conferences and the whole night. There's a lot of things they could do. I'm telling you right now. So that's all I wanted to say. Right? Yeah, but for this fight, they can do it. You got to believe in the women, brother. You got to believe in them. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor could do it. I believe in them. You know what I mean? If the women UFC fighters could go 5-minute rounds just like the men for championship fights, the women could do it in boxing as well. 12-minute rounds. 12. Well, what am I talking about? 12 3-minute rounds. Not 12-minute rounds. Everybody say, what? That's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. That's what I think. And I hope if I could convince one person, then I'm happy. You know what I mean? If I made you think about it, then it is what it is. So, and now Jay Desi, they did do super bad Estrada and Esparza, Marlene Esparza, they did do 3-minute rounds, 10 rounds. So Jay Desi says, and let's be honest, it's guaranteed barn burner. Katie and Amanda, bring it. And I appreciate the support, brother. Much appreciated. And that's another thing. It would be a great fight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, man, it could be like that Barrera Morales type fight that gets interest. You know what I mean? Because it can break barriers. It can break, the stereotypes that women can't get down and have a great fight. And you know what I mean? And I think it will be a mix of skill and excitement and everything. And this is a fight that I want to see. I do. I could see both women winning this fight, and it's a great fight. It's how I feel. And shout out to everyone who's been already pushing for this, right? From Punch Drunk to everybody else, that's been saying, you know what? Amanda Serrano deserves that money, And I'll admit, at first I wasn't even I was like, well, I mean, what does she really generate? But then I thought about it and I looked at it from a different perspective, right? I looked at it from like we need to start looking at it from this perspective. Like sometimes they hire an actor, right? For Game of Thrones, or I don't watch a lot of movies or shows now, okay? But we watch a lot of different stuff, right? And they pay them because they're good at what they do, right? They're like, okay, you're going to play this role perfectly, all right? And this is where you're going to get paid. Well, in this case, look at it this way. These women are made for each other. They're made to have a great fight. They're made for this moment. It's worth it. Because it's a needle mover and it's a great investment. And what they bring to the table, I have no clue. Let me just tell you something. Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor, there's no way that fight's boring. There's no way. That's a great fight. I'm going to tell you guys right now. Andre Rodriguez with that super sticker. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate the support. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. He gives me that thumbs up. That's what that is. So shout out to you. The Dawn with that super chat says, I want this Amanda Katie fight. Thank you very much for that support, brother. Much appreciated. And I definitely, and thank you to Jay-Z and Andre as well. It sounds to me like a lot of people are on board. You know what I mean? That's what it sounds like to me. And let's do the fight. Let's do the fight. Let's stop Amanda from going to UFC or something and doing her thing over there. Let's keep her in boxing. Okay? Let's start keeping our women where they belong and not having them go over there like Heather Hardy and like fucking her face kicked in or kneed in with elbows and shit. Did I say kneed in with elbow? But anyway, you know what I mean. All right? Let's keep them in boxing where they belong. And, we can have the females from over there come over here. Like, you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? The Dawn, how's it going, brother? I appreciate the support, brother. And I appreciate the support again, brother. Like, man, the Dawn is like, just like, like Jesus Christ. But I appreciate it very, very, very much. You know what I mean? So that's what I think. Aryan says, Katie is slipping. If they fought, I think Amanda wins. There you go, DStyle. I have a little love for Amanda. Not so much. Well, there you go. So it's a fight that people potentially think Katie could lose. Imagine if she wins. You know what I mean? So that's that. So that is that. Shout out to the Don yet again with another 99-cent super chat. All right. I appreciate it. All right. JC with a $5 super chat. I appreciate it, brother. But much appreciated, guys. I appreciate the support. Let's start supporting women's fighting a little bit. You know what I mean? I used to be where a lot of you guys are. Believe me. You know what I mean? I was that guy. Okay? Yo era ese vato that didn't support and like I don't want to see women all bloody and So that's that. Aryan, I'm going to go in about 1 minute, guys. The biggest boxing fight for the girls is Amanda Nunes versus Shields. Because Nunes got the kill power. She needs to move to boxing. Well, there you go. I mean, I wouldn't mind her going to boxing, to be honest. I wouldn't mind Amanda Nunes going to boxing. Or Cyborg. I actually want to see Cyborg in boxing. And I think that would be huge. I really do. Like Cyborg versus Amanda Serrano, or or something like that. It's better than Amanda going over there fighting them. You know what I mean? Like, look, Amanda's already got an MMA, shown she could do it, but I'd rather her stay in boxing. Just got to be honest, right? So that's that. With that said, guys, I appreciate everybody. And make it rain. DStyle is the truth, says the Don. I appreciate very, very much. To the Don, I appreciate you guys. Okay, I'm gonna go watch the fights now. So much appreciated. Salute to everybody. This is DStyleBoxing. You guys keep it boxing, all right? See you guys tomorrow on G Funky Boxing. See you guys there tomorrow on his channel for Uncensored. Peace out.